I had a restless and confusing night full of dreams about dying the deactivation code. Felt like the answer was right there, so close that I could touch it, but I just kept missing it somehow. I could never quite grip it, and because I couldn't, I was going to murder every last person on the ship one by one. Thinking about death so much made me want to make the most out of what life I had. I decided to spend the morning enjoying someone's company. Even if I wasn't next, one of my friends might be. I was limited to the people on my team. Nicholas had his own problems, and he didn't need me intruding on his time, so it'd have to be either Yoshiki or Shizuka. My tablet showed that Shizuka was still in her course, while Yoshiki was in the engineering bay. We haven't seen Shizuka in a little while. Let's go check on her. We need to make sure that she's staying out of trouble and all that. Shizuka was probably fast asleep. She definitely wasn't the most energetic member of the crew, at least not unless there was a game to be won. The kind of game that was winnable, of course, not the deletion game. I arrived at her quarters and saw that her door was unlocked. If she wasn't awake, she ought to be, so I called out. She didn't answer, and I poked my head in to see if I needed to summon Eye to give her a wake-up call. I didn't have the courage to wake her myself. As soon as I saw her, I stepped fully into the room to make sure I was really seeing what I thought I was. She was crawling across the floor with a game controller in her mouth. I could see her underwear. That looks like a PlayStation controller. Is that a PS4, maybe? They don't really show you the console that it goes with, probably for copyright purposes. I don't think I've played this game before. Shizuka stood up pouting and she took the controller out of her mouth.
You aren't very funny, you know.
Says you. Actually, I happen to know that I am quite funny.
Well, ha. I was changing the game on my console. Unicorn's Revenge keeps crashing.
That sucks. What are you going to play instead?
I recently got hold of a new game. It's called The Letter, and it's like a horror game.
Do you like horror?
Not normally, but my mom really loved them, so sometimes I try one. This one looks really good, though. I might even have played it if I didn't have to, but I guess now we'll never know. Why do all of the best games glitch?
Even though maybe some would think her frustration was out of proportion, I like that about Shizuka. She had a passion, and her enjoyment of her games was something I liked. The frustration was the opposing side of that, so I liked it too. I'm worried about this new game of dies. You're the game expert. Do you think we'll be okay?
Of course. I've never lost a game yet, and I'm not about to. I'm not usually a fan of multiplayer, you know. But I like my teammates, and I think we make a good mix. I think we'll all be okay.
That's one of us. Hope I can be as confident as you. Shizuka smiled.
Come on, sit down and watch me play. This is supposed to be a really atmospheric game.
I decided to take her up on that offer, so I sat down on her bed while she changed the game on her console. Maybe the game would be distracting enough to take my mind off my nightmares. It gave me new nightmares. It wasn't that scary, come on. Letter's on the channel if you want to see it. It is a real game.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Somebody's put a snooze button on her. What the hell? Woke up so quickly I nearly jumped straight out of bed.
Good morning! Rise and shine, kids! This is your friendly neighborhood AI requesting you all to be at the dining room within half an hour, or else face the consequences.
Die?
I repeat, we are ready. All systems are go. This is not a drill. Get to that dining room in 29 minutes and 25 seconds.
It was 5:03 a.m. What could Die possibly want? Unless I slept for several days, it wasn't time to play the next game. Maybe she had suddenly decided to change the rules, or maybe it was a real emergency. But if it was a real emergency, wouldn't I be in control? Figuring I didn't have time to worry about it, I rushed to get out of bed and dressed. Coming out of my room in the corridor, I nearly walked straight into Shizuka.
Hey, watch it!
Shut up! Sorry, what's going on? What does Die want?
I figure someone broke the rules. You know, about not talking to the other team?
Yoshiki did. But who would do that? Shizuka shrugged.
Guess we better go find out.
When we arrived at the dining hall, Nicholas was there along with the captain and Katashi on the other side of the room. What's going on? Does anyone know?
Katashi and I spoke.
What?
What? Why would you do that?
It was an accident. I didn't think. I went into the kitchen, basically walked right into Katashi. I apologized before I remembered.
How could you be so stupid? You can check who's in a room anytime you want. You should have seen he was in there.
I didn't think to check. It was so early that
If the whole team gets punished for this, I'll...
Now, no threats of violence. It's not good sportsmanship.
Boo!
Also, it's kind of my thing.
You can't punish all of us because 2 people screwed up.
Vladimir rushed in holding onto Melody's hand. She was still half asleep, looking around the room with drooping eyes. Then she saw Dai and tugged her father's shirt.
I don't want to play another game.
Maybe we don't have to. Come, sit down.
Yoshiki was the last person to arrive, and not more than 15 minutes after Dai summoned us. But she still pretended like he was late.
Tisk, tisk. Glad you could finally join us.
I'm not late, am I?
Not even close.
Hurry up. Take your seat. Let's get started.
He had a lot of cake to digest.
As I am sure most of you are aware, the rules of the current deletion game have been broken. Nicholas and Katashi have exchanged words, and being on different teams, this is of course forbidden by the very explicit laws I outlined to you repeatedly.
It was an accident!
I just said sorry. One word.
Did I say no communicating unless it's only one word and it's an accident?
Maybe. I
No,
kind
I
of
did
dozed
not.
off.
I said no communication. At all.
This is ridiculous. Are you really going to punish them because Nicholas was polite?
No, of course not.
Then why?
I'm going to punish all of you.
What?
You can't.
Dai, wait. I'll take the punishment. Whatever the consequences are, let me be punished. Not everyone.
Your nobility is cute, and the valor brings out the blue in your eyes. But I'm afraid this is a punishment that must encompass everyone. For the punishment is...
She left a dramatic pause that seemed to last hours.
the deletion game!
Both teams were silent. That was the punishment. We were already going through that. How could she punish us with it?
What?
But we're not ready. We haven't had time to prepare.
So, it's no skin off my nose.
But don't you want the game to be interesting? 8 tired people doing the first thing they can think of won't be very exciting.
Dai considered this for a few moments.
Good point. This is why you're the captain. I will allow you 10 minutes for strategy meetings. Team A stays here. Team B will meet in the kitchen.
But
Disperse!
Team B got out of their seats and filed past us, slow and slouching. We wait for Team B to leave before we start working out our
Okay, so
strategy.
yesterday I came up with a plan of attack for this game.
Really? That's great news. I knew we could count on you, Shizuka.
No, this is not the time, but again, I am so sorry, team. It's fine, Nicholas, really. Let's just deal with the issue at hand.
I suggest that we go all in.
Huh?
Like, give someone 9 points right off the bat.
But that would leave 2 people without points.
It's just...
Dai suddenly chimed in over the intercom system.
Please assemble in the dining hall for this week's deletion game. Round 1 starts in 5 minutes. Woo!
That certainly didn't feel like 10 minutes.
Yeah, it felt like half an hour. I'm sure she has just become bored.
What? But that's not fair!
Well, she's going to make us play on the spot. 5 minutes is still better than nothing.
I guess.
The timing there isn't even consistent, man. It's only a few minutes
Oh,
before they
goody.
return.
Everyone's here. Now, I know I said an hour, but just look at you all. There's nothing quite like the risk of death to wake you up in a hurry, is there? All right, let's play.
Very well, Dai. Let's get this over with.
I love your fighting spirit. Okay, so what I will need is for you all to wait outside during the other team's turn. You will get up to 5 minutes in the room to decide on your points allocation. Then after that, you can input your choice on the main terminal. However, all hands will have to be placed on the terminal in agreement. Team A, you are up first. Team B, get out.
The members of Team B hastily left the dining hall and left us alone with Dai in the dining hall. Dining table now projected a shimmering holographic terminal.
Your 5 minutes starts now.
As I was saying before, I think we should play high numbers, but that is just my opinion. The real choice is up to you, Captain. Here are all the options I could think of.
So, out of curiosity, let's go with this.
Everyone supports our team captain, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Let's go with it. I input the allocation using the terminal, and everyone else placed their palms on theirs to approve it.
Thank you for your entry. Please exit the dining hall so that stinky Team B can assign their points.
We quickly shuffled out of the dining hall, and Team B entered for their turn.
Well, I guess all we can do now is wait.
For your information, waiting is one of my finest skills. Watch this.
We all stood silently and watched Yoshiki.
See? How good am I at waiting?
Not very good. Shizuka let out a nervous laugh, while Nicholas seemed uninterested in the situation. After a few tense minutes of waiting, Team B exited the dining hall. Dai followed, boisterous as usual.
Wonderful start to the bidding wars. Both teams are fighting hard. Now let's see the results of round 1. If you would be so kind as to draw your attention to this screen.
Dai projected a screen using the same light she was made of.
And the winner of round 1 is...
Tai.
Tai. Woo!
Okay, that's why we didn't pick that one.
Can you feel the tension? This is amazing! Let's move on to round 2. Team A, you are up again. Please follow me.
Dai appeared to walk through the walls. We made our way back into the dining hall.
Your 5 minutes starts now!
A tie? What do we do? If we tie, I die automatically.
Yoshiki began to panic, and we didn't have time for it.
No, Yoshiki, this is a great loss. We now know how they played the last round. We now know more about the enemy. So I am thinking of these options for the next round.
Stay the course. I put the allocation using the terminal. Everyone placed their palms to approve it.
Thank you for your entry. Please exit the dining hall so that stinky Team B can assign their points.
And the usual.
If you would be so kind as to draw your attention to this screen.
Still projecting the same light.
And the winner of round 2 is...
That's not right.
Team A, you are my hero! Let's move on to round 3 then. Team A, you are up again. Please follow me.
The picture was wrong. It said there was a tie for 1 point and 2 points. Like, the reason I make a big deal out of this is because the dev had to remake all those. We're winning so far, this is a relief.
We might be safe.
The game isn't over yet. Don't get too comfortable. For the last round, I suggest...
So yeah, we're throwing a ton of points into Shizuka.
Let's get straight to the results.
We win!
Congratulations, Team A! After 3 rounds, you have come out victorious. And that means, Team B, you lose. Congrats!
I'm so sorry.
Enough of that. Now for the prize winner. Congratulations, Katashi! Alright, well, let's get to it. But first, just let me take the time to really congratulate all of our winners and our losers. Isn't teamwork just the greatest?
Shizuka's face swelled with grief as she approached Katashi and grabbed hold of one of his shirt sleeves.
Oh no! Our winning wasn't supposed to sentence you to death!
I'll never believe you meant for me to die, kiddo.
No, please, anyone else!
Katashi patted Shizuka on the head as she began to weep.
I should have lost. Then you would still be okay!
Kiddo, you were never gonna lose. Games are your thing.
Should have lost on purpose!
No, you shouldn't have. You had your team to protect and you did a wonderful job.
But
I was Team B's captain. I would gladly die to protect my team.
Katashi!
Some games you win, some games you lose. In my case, it's usually lose. Katashi let out a hearty laugh before the captain interrupted.
I'm sorry, Katashi. I tried to ensure we all had points.
I know you did, Captain. But as you said, it was important that we protect Melody. And we did. Besides, it's quite fitting, isn't it? After all, I was the one who triggered the game to start early in the first place.
Shizuka shuffled to the back of the crowd. Although she is doing her best to hide her face, I could hear her quietly crying. Dai meaningfully cleared her throat.
Yes, I agree. Super fitting. Now let's get on with it.
Dai materialized the wheel in front of her and started spinning it immediately. Her eyes widened as she watched it spin. Tick, tick, tick.
Oh, how fitting, Katashi. You're going to be cooked to death.
Lame.
Can't come up with anything new.
My feelings exactly.
Excuse me?
I'm not the first person to die from being cooked.
Katashi, don't be insensitive.
The captain placed a reassuring hand on the back of Melody's head. Melody was planted firmly at Kimiko's side, grabbing tight to the captain's leg with both arms. Katashi glanced sheepishly at Melody before meeting the captain's gaze.
Sorry about that. I'm about to die, though. So can you forgive me this once, Captain?
Katashi looked at the captain playfully.
Of course.
The captain did her best to force a smile.
I will have you know, Mr. Space Farmer. Not that that is even a real job. I have arranged a way to cook you without needing to resort to what happened last time.
Oh?
You know, I spend so much time every week trying to come up with interesting ways for you all to die. And this is the thanks I get? You know I am not phoning this in, right? Why does no one appreciate my creativity?
Because you are phoning it in. Dai's anger suddenly turned to tears.
I even spend hours designing the deletion game rounds for you all.
Everyone in the room looked at each other confused.
You don't ever have to play the same game twice, but still, no one thanks me.
Oh, don't say that, Dai. I'm sure we all appreciate how hard you work for us.
Really?
No.
Yeah.
Yoshiki!
The captain gave Yoshiki a scathing look, causing Yoshiki to snap out of his momentary lapse in judgment.
Sorry. You know I can't handle it when people cry. Especially girls.
The captain seemed both angered and baffled by his stupidity.
Excuse me, Captain, but Yoshiki and I were having a beautiful moment.
Dai turned her attention back to Yoshiki.
You know what, Yoshiki? I will remember your kindness.
Huh? Really?
Yeah. When I kill you, I will stay with you and cheer you on until you eventually stop breathing.
See, she does care.
I will even pretend to mourn for you. Isn't that sweet?
Yoshiki let out a nervous laugh.
Yeah, I guess it is. I appreciate it, Dai.
Katashi cleared his throat, reminding everyone of the task at hand.
Oh, how unthoughtful of me. I should be focusing on the man of the hour.
So, how exactly is this going to happen?
Well, first we will...
Wait, I don't want to know.
I hear you. You want to learn through experience.
Dai winked at Katashi.
Alright, everyone. Let's all head to the kitchen.
The kitchen? Dai, I hate to disappoint. I won't fit in the oven.
I can make you fit.
Shh, you already said you didn't want to know. Now onwards.
We can cook the arms and legs later. Everyone marched solemnly out of the dining hall towards the kitchen, which was close by. Wasn't even a few minutes that passed before we arrived.
Okay, so what I need is for everyone to stand on the outside of the kitchen. Don't go inside. Stay in the hallway.
Everyone looked puzzled, but stood still in the hallway.
Now, Katashi, if you would please make your way into the kitchen. See? How fitting for the space farmer, am I right?
Katashi was entering the kitchen when he felt a tug on his arm.
I'm sorry.
Shizuka had tears streaming down her face, but she was still not lifting her head. Rather, she was looking at the floor.
Kiddo, I said it's more than okay. Now come on.
Katashi lifted her head with his hand until under her chin to make eye contact.
What is our motto for failure? What happens when we fail?
Deny.
Die?
Well, in this instance, yes. But, I mean in general. What happens when we fail?
Deny, deny, deny.
Learn, retry, succeed.
That's right. We learn, we retry, and we succeed. I'm simply leaving the learning to you, kid. Make sure to win, okay?
Shizuka's tears dried up as she sniffled back further tears.
I'll do it! I'll win this whole thing!
That's the spirit.
Katashi patted Shizuka on that for the last time and then stepped into the kitchen.
Officer Ikari, you have served the Everett well, and we thank you for your service. Salute!
We all saluted Katashi as the door for the kitchen was sealed off by Dai.
About time, people.
The kitchen has been locked down. Temperature control in the kitchen is no longer automated. Temperature control inside the kitchen is now set to complete a disinfection cycle. Disinfection cycle?
Oh, how rude of me. Sometimes I forget you ran away with your coward parents and know very little about this ship. A disinfection cycle is an operation that can occur in any part of the ship. It isolates a part of the ship and heats it up using the temperature control to kill any live viruses and bacteria.
UV sterilization would be better. Why would the ship even be able to do that?
Why? Why? Isn't that obvious? Let's say we picked you up from space like we did, but you had, let's say, the bubonic plague. If we don't have a cure on board, we need to get rid of that real quick to limit infection to the other crew. So we would just quarantine you and your disease and cook you. Then no more you or disease.
That's so...
Back me up, Captain. You know the protocol.
Wait, really? If I was sick?
It isn't personal. I need to protect the crew, and if you did in fact have an infectious disease that could transfer to the other crew...
You would just kill me?
Enough! Who cares about you hypothetically dying? Katashi actually is, and all you care about is yourself!
He won't mind. I
don't care about what you have to say, just shut up!
The entire room felt quiet. In my peripheral vision, I could see Dai's smile growing. We stood in silence for almost half an hour. Disinfection cycle and kitchen complete. Temperature controls returned to normal.
I believe what the automated system means is, ding! Dinner's ready!
The door to the kitchen swung open and there we saw Katashi. Same as last time. He had clearly attempted to lower his body temperature and remove most of his clothes but his shorts. His skin was a crispy brown color with slight charring. Never seen a human cooked, and I don't think I ever needed to again. Surprisingly, there was an apple in his mouth that had weathered the cooking a bit better than he did. Did it fall off the bench, or was he trying to have one last treat before death? Shizuka ran in once the door was open, immediately removing the apple from his mouth and trying to close his eyes, which wouldn't close. Too dehydrated.
Someone help me! He shouldn't just be left in here!
I wish I could, but you know, I am made of light.
Dai shrugged while smiling slyly. Shizuka attempted to move Katashi, but she was so much smaller than he was, his body didn't even bulge.
Move, damn it!
Shizuka became enraged. She was now flailing while tugging on his arm.
Shizuka, perhaps it would be best if you left him to us. We can take care of him.
So, just saying, that should have gotten hot enough to boil off all of the liquids inside his body, and he should be a desiccated husk. The reason why this is important is he should have like half his body weight gone, if not like 3/4. He should be fairly light to move. Unless she's really that weak. And then you also have to remember they probably don't have 1-to-1 gravity there like we do on Earth, so he'd be even lighter.
What, like you took care of Katashi here? I think we can all agree that you're not taking care of anyone!
The captain's face winced at her words as the concern in her face melted away to reveal the stern captain I had come to know.
Shizuka, return to your quarters at once.
No!
Refusing an order? This is getting interesting.
Shizuka was latched on pretty tightly to Katashi's arm at this point. The captain now was visibly irritated. She approached Shizuka and stood only inches from her.
Shizuka, you are to return to your quarters immediately!
So intense.
Smack her. Shizuka's eyes met with the captain's and her moment of rebellion died.
Understood.
Shizuka let go of Katashi's arm and left the kitchen without looking at anyone on the way out.
Aw, and here I was hoping the two of you would fight. You're no fun, Captain.
Well, I am bored now. It's been fun. I will see you all tomorrow for the next round of the deletion games. Toodles!
Dai in her boredom zapped out of the kitchen and left the rest of the crew staying silently.
Yoshiki, Nicholas, I trust that you two can move Katashi?
Of course. We'll see to it now.
Thank you. Everyone is dismissed. Feel free to do as you please for the remainder of the day. I will be in my quarters if anyone needs me.
The captain left the room and I followed suit.